Hello, students. It is I, Mrs. Fecto. And I know that, we're all spending a lot more time inside, so I've decided to teach myself new skills while I'm here. So today, I wrote my first book and published it. Don't mean to brag. It's a little piece of research I did on William Shakespeare. Perhaps you have heard of him. I'm a big Shakespeare fan, as is my husband. As a matter of fact, in my house, this is the downstairs Shakespeare, the complete works of William Shakespeare. All right, so this is the one that has my husband's notes from college. Then, this is his backup copy of the complete works. Watch. Could you see the actual dust? This was under the bed, which I thought that he had gotten rid of it, but you have to have a backup copy. Just in case someone steals the original. This is my Shakespeare. It's my little tiny Hamlet. Hamlet's my favorite. I love him. He was a great Dane. Sorry, couldn't resist. Hamlet jokes. So anyway, my book, one of the ninth grade English teachers asked me to look at the Quartos and maybe explain, what they were. And I honestly had no recollection of what they were. So I went online and I looked at the Folger Shakespeare Library. I looked at, what was the other one? The British Museum? I looked at the Folger Shakespeare Library. I looked at the British Library, all the good libraries. And I got some information about the folios and I wrote a book. So I will put the process of writing the book at the end, but it turned out beautifully. And I did it in a folio format. So it's called An Excellent Conceited Tragedy of Romeo and Juliet by L. Hunsdon, his servant, which was the name of Shakespeare's production company at the time. So it looks like that. That's the cover. I did the cover art myself. Page 2, we had some editing issues. So in 1597, that was the first quarto, and it was bad. It was just bad. It was probably written from memory by someone familiar with the play, like those people in the 90s who went to see Rent 100 times. I didn't go 100 times. Did go. Don't judge me. It was the 90s. It was great. All right. 1599. The second quarto was good. It was called The Most Excellent and Lamentable Tragedy of Romeo and Juliet, newly corrected, augmented, and amended. Corrected, because I don't know what year it is. All right. Then, in 1609, the third quarto was printed essentially from the second quarto. Copycat. I was going to put a picture of a cat there, but, it's expensive getting quality illustrators. All right. In 1622, the fourth quarto was a mixtape of the third with bits of the first. Lil Wayne also did a guest star. That's not true. Lil Wayne did not appear in any of the quartos. All right. This one said, written by W. Shake-Spear. So it's nice that he got some, attention. Then they made the first folio in 1623 and a second folio in 1632. It was kind of a big deal. It was. I've seen a copy of the first folio at the British Museum. Just saying, I didn't get to touch it or anything. I just looked at it. All right. And finally, in conclusion, there was a fifth quarto in 1673, but who cares? Yeah, because they didn't say anything about it. So the version that you're going to be using, I believe, if you're reading Romeo and Juliet, is the Folger edition, which is free. Thanks, Folger edition, during this time of quarantine. So it is mostly from the second quarto with better punctuation, but still old-timey words like apricots for apricots and porpentine for porcupine, which frankly, I'm going to use the word porpentine for porcupine for the rest of my life. I love it. The end. So that's my book, and I think if you want to see how it was created sped up real fast, you can stay tuned. Otherwise, that's your Quarto talk. So here I am folding and writing my quarto about the quartos. That's very meta. Basically, it's a way of publishing where you take one sheet and you divide it into sections, fold it up, and then it is the papers are ripped and they're sewn together. You'll see me very, very gracelessly sewing here in a second. There's all my sewing items. All right, so I could have used a stapler and this would have been 12 seconds of your life that you would have gotten back. But anyway, so sewed it up, used my favorite scissors. Then I have my fancy letter openers to have a fake duel and stab Romeo and Juliet, and then rip the pages. In old books, you would have to rip the pages before you could read them. This is quite some time ago. And there you have it, my Quarto. Have a great day. See you next time.